Tonight on Traffic Blues, an object thrown from a bridge has the potential for real danger.
We actually saw as we were coming up, you can see what stuff was all scattered, so the cars were headed.
A young driver is pulled over for driving carelessly.
Numerous complaints coming in there about your driving.
And a drunk driver is arrested.
Hello. I'm speaking to you, sir.
Dublin, 7:30 p.m. on a summer's evening. Gardaí Sean Jones and Kieran Madigan are checking cars on an outer city link road when a car, seeing their checkpoint, reverses back up the road towards a roundabout.
I just heard a horn of an articulated lorry going off, and it just drew my attention down to the roundabout at the end of the road. I observed there a small car trying to reverse back out onto the roundabout.
What's this woman doing?
To me, it looked like she panicked when she saw the patrol car doing a checkpoint, or what she thought was a checkpoint, whereas in fact we only had the car stopped.
Have you got a full driving licence, ma'am? Have you got a full driving licence? No, you don't, okay?
The driver doesn't have a full licence and doesn't have a passenger with a full licence with her. But there's a bigger problem.
She produced a provisional driving licence to me. I could see, observing the car like that, there was 5 kids in the back, not one of them had a seatbelt on. And 2, maybe 3 of those kids would actually have to be in booster seats because they were too small to be in the back of the car.
You're driving on a provisional licence with 5 children in the back of your car and not one of them have a seatbelt on. You are not accompanied by a driver with a full licence. Please stop cursing, okay?
What I was telling her, she threw out chewing gum onto the ground, and I asked her to pick it up, and she got out onto her knees and was begging for forgiveness. And
you're very nervous. Please get into your car.
We just weren't expecting a lady to alight from her vehicle and go on her knees begging for forgiveness just because she had a provisional licence.
Get up off the ground. It's dangerous for you to be on the road. Please sit back into your car and dump that chewing gum. Excuse me. I've asked you to pick up the chewing gum. That is not a jumping ground.
I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
You're nervous?
I got her back into the car, out of the road, because it's not safe to be on the side of the road really on your knees, because you get to stop the car very quickly.
Although the situation is a new experience for Kieran, he has a serious point to make.
There's only 3 seatbelts supplied in the back of the vehicle, which means there is only 3 kids allowed into the back of the car. The smaller kids should be on booster seats. It's an on-the-spot fine. It's an €80 fine and 2 penalty points for not having children in the back of the car with no seatbelts on. Okay? So off you go there. Thank you.
The serious side of it was there were 5 occupants of the car with an inexperienced driver. And if an inexperienced driver is going to act in that manner when she sees a car at a checkpoint, the consequences can be very serious.
This driver got 2 penalty points and an €80 fine. Donegal. Gardaí Charlene Anderson and Noel McGoohan see a truck struggling up a hill that looks like it's overweight and decide to pull it in.
We saw this truck and it appeared to me that it was somewhat overweight. The load was extremely high. The rear wheels of the truck were almost compressed with the road and it seemed to have great difficulty getting up the hill. So when it reached the top of the hill, I decided to stop the truck and speak to the driver.
Have your driving licence on you, please?
Charlene, with a new Garda trainee and work experience, asks the driver to go to a local weighbridge to weigh the truck. The driver says he is on a break. Under law, he is entitled to take breaks.
We're going to take you down to weigh you. How long is the break? Okay, 4. We have to wait. No, I want to weigh anyway. Okay.
I asked him to accompany back to the local weighbridge to be weighed, and at this stage the driver decided to have his meal break, which was consisted of 30 minutes. Now he's perfectly entitled to do this. There is regulations there governing his rest periods, so we waited for him to have his meal break.
Took of his break on the tachograph regulations at that time, and then he went quite a distance to get the lorry turned.
After half an hour, Charlene and Noel follow the truck further along the road to find a safe place to turn it, as the designated weighbridge is in the opposite direction.
So he decided to go back the road, maybe 2 or 3 miles, in order to turn the truck. So we followed him back and he turned the truck, and he then stopped the truck, and he told us that he did not want to go back down to the weighbridge, that he had spoken to his boss and he didn't think it was a good idea. I explained to him at that point that I had made a requirement of him under the law and I was now requiring him to return to the weighbridge, which he did, and he was cooperative from that point on.
The driver turned the truck and drove the few miles back to the designated weighbridge. The truck is weighed and it turns out he's 5.5 tonnes overweight.
Being overweight to that extent would have a massive impact on the truck. The truck may be capable of carrying more, we'll say, weight-wise, but unfortunately the brakes would suffer as a result.
Right. But just in relation to, because you have the 6 wheels, we're not going to ask you, you're 5 tonne over, we're not going to ask you to take it off, okay?
Right.
But just for, again, like your 40...
Overweight trucks are a common enough occurrence.
Right across the board.
From their experience in Traffic Corps, Charlene and Noel have a view as to why some hauliers overload their trucks.
I think anybody that's in the business there and of road haulage has a good idea what they're at. You know, there's a lot of money invested in these big juggernauts, and they know what they're doing. And it's a question of finance, really. I'd say, you know, if they can take a chance, they'll take it.
It doesn't seem that they think of the health and safety implications as a result of this. They just tend to want to be out there and get as much money as they possibly can.
As for the driver of the truck, in court, the driver pleaded guilty to overloading his truck by 5.5 tonnes. He was fined €600.